And we will reveal whether or not we all have Christmas sweaters. Alpesh Patel, CEO of private equity house Buffanian Partners, is with us now. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's begin with the Financial Times, shall we? So we've just seen in the last 24 hours... again, a wave of violence against the protesters against the police in Hong Kong. It's been going on for 8 weeks now.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. The reason this story has hit the front pages is because a group of British MPs who are due to look into not just these protests but actually the political system in Hong Kong have been told by the Chinese government they'd be refused entry. What annoys me about that story is that in actual fact, under the 1984 agreement between the United Kingdom and China, before the handover, which nobody seems to, on the Chinese side, have read, Britain has a legitimate right to involve itself on the business affairs of Hong Kong. And that's why these MPs have every right to be there. Britain has a legitimate interest as per an intergovernmental agreement between the two countries.
Need to be careful, though, about legitimate right. Everyone will accept that. That's perfectly reasonable. But you have to tread carefully politically. It's a sensitive situation, isn't it?
The law comes first and diplomacy second. The law gives them the right to go and investigate, and it also gives them the right to promote democracy.
But also as well, Alpesh, we remember the pictures all over the papers of David Cameron and a huge entourage of business leaders who went to China, to Beijing, because the economic ties between the UK and China are extremely important to many businesses in this country.
Absolutely.
And that's the difficulty, isn't it, here?
And that's two elements. One is it's good news for Britain, actually, these protests, because it means there will be a flow of capital out from Hong Kong. I've been out there with UK Trade and Investment, the British Trade and Investment arm for the British government, and we're going to get more investment into the UK, so it's actually good news for the UK. And what's surprising about this, as you rightly say, relations had improved so much with China that this comes as a bit of a shock out of the blue.
But the article criticises the fact that actually perhaps our Prime Minister is putting the economic ties ahead of what, you know, the fight in terms of pro-democracy.
And the Foreign Office have been very clear to say this is an independent group of MPs because the Select Committee system ensures that they're very independent from the government, with a capital G, the government. So in actual fact, it's got very little to do with the Prime Minister, and I'm sure if it was down to him, he'd probably, as you say, for economic reasons, not want to rock the boat. But for political reasons, for reasons of democracy, which are far more important than economics, these MPs have every right to enforce that 1984 agreement with China and pointed out to them that Britain has a legitimate right to involve itself in the business of Hong Kong.